Before studying about the properties of magnetic lines of force, let us define what do you mean by magnetic line of force. இது bookல இல்ல, தெரிஞ்சுக்கோ. அதாவது, if I am having a bore magnet or a magnet, around that magnet I will be having a magnetic field. The space or the area in which the influence of a magnet can be felt is called to be magnetic field. Let us take that magnetic field as B. Now, inside this magnetic field, I am considering a point. At that point, I am placing a unit pole strength. I am placing a unit pole strength. If a unit pole strength is placed at a point inside the magnetic field, then the magnetic field at a point is given by force per unit pole strength. So what will be the force experienced on that unit pole strength placed at that point? Then the force experienced will be B into Qm. Now, if the Qm is considered to be unity, then the force available will be equal to magnetic field at that point. Anyhow, if you are placing a pole strength, unit pole strength, on that unit pole strength, a force will be acting. So because of that force acting, that unit north pole will try to move inside the magnetic field. When that unit pole strength try to move inside the magnetic field, the path along which it moves may be a straight line or it may be a curved line. So a curved line or an imaginary straight line along which a unit pole strength moves inside the magnetic field is called as magnetic line of force. So what do you mean by this magnetic line of force? Magnetic line of force is an imaginary straight or a curved path. Imaginary straight or a curved path along which a unit pole strength of a magnet or unit pole strength of a north pole. Let us write in general, along which a unit pole strength moves inside a magnetic field. That direction or that path along which that unit north pole moves is called to be, they are taking it as magnetic lines of force. Clear? So as we have defined it in terms of electric field or electrical lines of force, we are defining the magnetic lines of force also. படிக்கும்போது ரெண்டையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணி படி ஈஸியா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா அது ஏற்கனவே படிச்சாச்சு, இது புதுசா படிக்கிறோம். So magnetic line of force is an imaginary straight or a curved path along which the unit north pole or unit pole strength moves inside the electrical field. That called to be magnetic lines of force. For this magnetic lines of force, we have to study about what? We have to study about the properties of magnetic lines of force. What are the properties of magnetic lines of force? Let us consider the first property. See, in order to study the first property, you consider a magnetic dipole or a bore magnet. If you are taking a bore magnet, the bore magnet will be having two poles. At one end, you are having the north pole, and at the other end, you are having the south pole. See, the magnetic field lines are considered to be continuous curved lines. They are always acting from the north pole to south pole outside the magnet. So outside the magnet, the magnetic lines of force, which are continuous curved lines, are moving from the north pole towards that of what? North pole towards that of the south pole. But at the same time, inside the magnet, this is outside, okay? Outside the magnet or outside the magnetic dipole, the magnetic lines of force starts from north pole to south pole. But inside the magnet, the magnetic lines of force are acting from south pole to what? South pole to north pole. This we are taking it out as the first point. Are you clear? Magnetic lines, first point, magnetic lines of forces are considered to be continuous curved lines. The second one, the magnetic lines of force are acting from North Pole to South Pole externally or outside, and internally or inside. It moves from South Pole to North Pole. So all these combined together, let us take it out as the first point. So the first point is, we can write magnetic lines are continuous, magnetic lines are continuous curved paths or curved lines. Adile the direction of the magnetic field lines, the direction of magnetic field lines is always from, or they are acting from, field lines is from North Pole to South Pole, North Pole to South Pole, North Pole to South Pole, outside the bar magnet, and from South Pole to North Pole, and from South Pole to North Pole, South Pole to North Pole inside the bar magnet or inside the magnetic dipole. Hope you are clear about this point. Okay, let us move on to the second point. See, let us recall what you have studied in the electrical field lines. A tangent drawn to the electrical field lines will be giving you the direction of the electrical field. Similarly, see, to these continuous curved lines of magnetic field, you drop what? You drop an tangent at a particular point. If I am drawing a tangent at this particular point, then the tangent drawn to the magnetic line of force at any point gives you the direction of the magnetic field. Are you clear? So the second point is the tangent drawn to the magnetic line of force. The tangent drawn to magnetic lines of force, magnetic lines of force at any point, gives the direction of, gives the direction of the magnetic field, gives the direction of the magnetic field at any point. So if you want to calculate at any point, so if you want to calculate the direction of the magnetic field, then the magnetic field is represented by magnetic lines. For any one of the magnetic line at any point, you consider a tangent. The tangent drawn to that magnetic line of force inside the magnetic field at any point gives you the direction of the magnetic field. Then the third point, already we have studied that as the electrical lines of force never intersect. You might have studied. If you are considering two electrical lines to intersect, then at that point, if you are placing a charge, then what will happen? It is not possible for the charge to move in two different directions. You might have studied the same concept in magnetism also. Two magnetic lines of force never intersect. If so, if they intersect, what will happen? Then at that intersecting point, if a pole strength is placed, it is not possible for the pole strength to experience force in two different directions. So we are saying that the third point is the magnetic lines of force never intersect. Magnetic lines of force never intersect. You have to say like this: do not intersect, will not intersect. You have to say magnetic lines of force never intersect. Okay. Then why it is we are saying that they never intersect? Let us take like this: otherwise. Otherwise means if they are intersecting, what will happen? Then otherwise, then the magnetic needle or the magnetic compass or the magnetic pole strength placed at that point, magnetic pole strength at that point, at that magnetic needle placed at that point can't show, can't experience force in two different directions, in two different directions, isn't it? See, let us take like this. You are having a magnetic lines in this direction. Another magnetic line is acting to be in this direction. So at this intersecting point, if you are placing an pole strength, then this pole strength will be experiencing due to the magnetic field B1 and the magnetic field B2. So if this pole strength is experiencing two forces, on which direction that pole strength will move because of that force. So it is said that it is not possible for two magnetic field lines to intersect. Adanala, we are saying that magnetic lines of force never intersect. Then point number 4. See, if you are having a magnetic field, perpendicular to the magnetic field, you will be having magnetic field lines. Similar as that of electrical field. If you are having an electrical field perpendicular to that of the electrical field area, you will be having the electrical lines. Similarly, the magnetic field lines are perpendicular to that of the area of the magnetic field. The degree of closeness of the magnetic field. See, when you are considering a magnetic field, so I am taking like this, I am taking a magnetic field B. In this magnetic field, you are having magnetic lines to be passing through them perpendicularly. If you are considering this magnetic field lines passing normally or perpendicularly through the surface, the magnetic field lines may be closer or the magnetic field lines may be far away. அதான் சொல்றாங்க, the degree of closeness of the field lines. If the magnetic field lines are very close together or far apart, then it determines the strength of the magnetic field. If the magnetic field is strong, then the magnetic field lines are very close to each other. If the magnetic field lines are far apart, then the strength of the magnetic field is taken to be weak. Clear? So what is the fourth point? I can say like this. The degree of closeness, the degree of closeness, whether the magnetic field lines are closer to each other or far apart. So the degree of closeness of the magnetic field lines or of the field lines determine the strength அல்லது relative strength of the magnetic field. Relative strength of the magnetic field. What is this? See, if the magnetic field lines are closer, if the magnetic field lines are closer, then we can say magnetic field B is strong. Similarly, or vice versa. What is that vice versa? We can say the other point. If the magnetic field lines are not closer, they are taken to be far apart, then the magnetic field B is considered to be what? The magnetic field B is taken to be weak. This is the fourth point. What is the fifth point? Okay, they have given only the four points. In your book, they have given only 4 points. But according to Gauss law, we have stated that, isn't it? Unit positive charge gives rise to 1 by epsilon 0 lines of force. Like that, here also we can define, but it is not given in your book. So let us stop with this. Hope you should have understood what I have told regarding magnetic lines of force. பாருங்க, திரும்ப சொல்லித்தரேன், summarize பண்ணி கொடுக்கிறேன். We are going to study about the concept called to be magnetic lines of force. What do you mean by this magnetic lines of force? This magnetic lines of force is an imaginary, straight, or a curved path or a curved line along which the unit pole strength of a magnet moves inside a magnetic field. Then, இது குறுக்கல bookல தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. What are the properties of these magnetic lines of force? They have listed some 4 properties. The first property, magnetic lines of forces are taken to be a continuous curved paths or curved lines. Then these magnetic field lines always starts in a magnetic dipole from north pole to south pole externally and from south pole to north pole internally. Rendavathu point, the tangent drawn to the magnetic lines of force at any point gives you the direction of the magnetic field at that point. Number 3, the magnetic lines of force never intersect. If they intersect or otherwise, the pole strength or the magnetic needle placed at that point cannot experience force in two different directions. So the magnetic lines of force never intersect. Then point number 4, if you are considering a magnetic field perpendicular to the surface of the magnetic field, magnetic lines will be passing through. The number of magnetic lines which are passing through that area is either close to each other or far away from them, can be stated as degree of closeness. If the degree of closeness of the field lines are ready to determine the relative strength of the magnetic field. If the magnetic field lines are very close to each other, then we can say the magnetic field strength is high or strong. If the magnetic field lines are far apart, then the magnetic field is weak or the magnetic field strength is taken to be weak. Hope you should have understood this. So here we are going to study about the next property called to be magnetic flux. Magnetic flux அப்படினா represented by the letter phi b. This magnetic flux is taken to be a scalar quantity. Okay, what about its unit and other formula, everything? Let us go again. See how you can able to define magnetic flux. Magnetic flux can be defined as that of electrical flux. Instead of electrical field lines, we have to consider magnetic field lines. Instead of electrical field, we have to consider magnetic field. So how I can define magnetic flux? Magnetic flux is defined as the total number of magnetic lines of force. Total number of magnetic lines of force crossing any area, crossing any given area, or crossing any area perpendicularly or normally. Perpendicularly or normally is called to be magnetic flux, represented by phi b. Sorry, this formula phi b is equal to b vector dot a vector, which is equal to, when you are taking a dot product, you can say b into a into cos theta. So flux available is taken to be b into a into cos theta. See here b is, that is, we can write b cos theta, we can write like this, b cos theta multiplied it with the area. This b cos theta is nothing but perpendicular component of the magnetic field and area. See, this BA cos theta means, what is this theta? Theta is nothing but angle between magnetic field lines, or angle between the direction of the magnetic field and the normal drawn to area, and the normal or the perpendicular drawn to area. Okay, see, I can consider like this. I am taking a magnetic field. In this, I am taking a small area. The normal drawn to this is considered to be along, if this is the direction of the magnetic field, and if this is there to be the direction of the area vector. There is normal for this small area, then angle between them is considered to be theta. If so, theta is considered to be the angle between the magnetic field or magnetic field lines and normal to the area, means I can consider two special cases. What is the special case? One, if b vector is normal to, area, or I can write surface area. Surface area of what? Surface area of magnetic field. Can you say what is the value of theta? Can you say what is the value of theta?
0 degree.
Yes, very good. theta equal to 0 degree. If theta equal to 0 degree, cos theta equal to 1. If so, I can write flux available phi B is equal to B into A. This is considered to be the maximum value of magnetic flux. So I can able to get maximum magnetic flux when the magnetic field lines is perpendicular to that of the area. If magnetic field lines is along this horizontal direction, and if area is kept like this, then what will happen? The normal drawn to the area and the magnetic field lines are along the same line. If so, theta becomes 0. If theta is 0, then we can say the magnetic flux is considered to be maximum. Similarly, I am going for the second special case. If B vector is parallel to the surface area, that is, the magnetic field lines and the area are parallel, then normal drawn to the area and the magnetic field lines are perpendicular. That is, if magnetic field B vector is parallel to the surface of magnetic field, then theta is what? Theta is angle between the normal drawn and the magnetic lines. So theta becomes 90 degree. If theta becomes 90 degree, then cos theta is cos 90, cos 90 is 0, then the flux available phi B equal to 0. So this is taken to be the minimum. Now, if you are considering the magnetic field, uniform magnetic field in the formula. If the magnetic field is not uniform, the special case 3. If the magnetic field lines is not uniform over a surface, then how I can write the flux? Then flux available phi B is equal to integral of B vector dot, instead of A vector, I have to take a small vector, that is dA vector. This integration should be taken over that closed surface. Electrical field electrical flux over a small surface is closed integral of E vector dot dA vector. The same formula. But in the concept, if the magnetic field available is not uniform, that is, if the magnetic field is varying, then we have to consider a small area called to be dA. After calculating the magnetic flux for that small area, you integrate it. You can able to get the total magnetic flux for the whole area. That was represented as phi B is equal to closed integral of B vector dot dA vector. Again, let us consider the beginning. I have taken the flux, magnetic flux phi B as an what quantity? As an scalar quantity, first thing. Then the second thing, what is its SI unit? See, you can directly say SI unit is B vector dot dA vector. What is B vector? B vector is taken to be Tesla nedukkalam. Or we can say, what is B vector? We have taken like this. B vector is equal to force per unit pole strength. What is this? Force is said to be in terms of Newton, pole strength in terms of ampere meter. So I can write, instead of B, it is Newton divided by ampere meter. dA, it is meter square. Or meter, inge meter cancel aidum. So I can say Newton meter per ampere is taken to be its SI unit. Or this flux can be replaced by a single unit called to be Weber. WB னு measure பண்ணுவாங்க. ரெண்டுமே எடுக்கலாம். Both are taken to be SI units. If you want to get the dimension, for what? Dimension for the magnetic flux, then you use this formula. What is Newton? Newton can be written as ml t to the power of -2. What is meter? It is L. What is ampere? Ampere is ampere, a power -1. So I can write m L square t power -2 a power -1. This we are calling it out as the dimensional formula or dimensional equation for the magnetic flux. Any difficulty? See, from this magnetic flux, they are defining another quantity called to be magnetic flux density. This, what do you mean by this magnetic flux density? Magnetic flux density is nothing but magnetic flux per unit area. Magnetic flux per unit area. What do you mean by this? Magnetic flux density is equal to magnetic flux per unit area means I have to write like this: magnetic flux divided by the area of the magnetic field. So I can write phi B by A. This magnetic flux density can also be written as B or B vector. This is a vector quantity called to be or measured in terms of an unit called as Tesla. அல்லது we can write it out in terms of magnetic flux in terms of Weber, area in terms of meter square. So Weber per meter square is considered to be equal to Tesla. Or I can take like this: unit magnetic flux density. 1 Tesla is equal to 1 Weber by 1 meter square. So if 1 Weber of magnetic flux available in unit area, then magnetic flux density is represented as what? Magnetic flux density is represented as 1 Tesla. All these points are coming under the heading called to be magnetic flux. See, magnetic flux density can also be written like this. See, the total number of magnetic lines, total number of magnetic lines crossing normally, அங்க வந்து given area ன்னு எடுத்தோம். இங்க crossing normally a unit area of magnetic field, that we are taking it as magnetic flux density. Can you able to differentiate between flux and flux density? Total number of magnetic lines crossing normally of the given area is flux. Instead of the given area, if the area taken is considered to be unity or 1 meter square, then we can say that the flux density, the total number of lines crossing that unit area as flux density. Clear? Are you able to understand what I have told? பாருங்க, திரும்ப சொல்லி கொடுத்துறலாம். What do you mean by magnetic flux? Magnetic flux, which is a scalar quantity, is defined as total number of magnetic lines of force crossing any area normally or perpendicularly, represented by the letter phi B. Now the flux is represented by the formula B vector dot A vector. When I am taking the dot product, I can write it out as BA into cos theta. So I can write BA cos theta. I can rearrange and write B cos theta into A. B cos theta is nothing but the perpendicular component of the resultant magnetic field. So the resultant magnetic field can be divided into two components, isn't it? One is the horizontal component, another one is the vertical component or the perpendicular component. That perpendicular component is B cos theta. So I can write phi B, magnetic flux, as perpendicular component of the magnetic field and area. And in this case, when I am taking the magnitude, phi B is equal to BA into cos theta. What is this theta? Theta is the angle between the magnetic field B and the perpendicular or the normal drawn to the area. From this, let us discuss some of the special cases. What is the first special case? You see, if the magnetic field B vector is normal to the surface area of the magnetic field, then theta becomes 0. Because if magnetic field lines and area are perpendicular, normal or perpendicular drawn to the surface will be parallel to magnetic lines. So theta equal to 0. Appo cos theta 1. Appo magnetic flux is B into A, which we are taking it out as the magnetic flux available. If the magnetic field is parallel to that of the surface area considered, and the magnetic field lines, if both are parallel, then perpendicular drawn and the magnetic lines of forces are considered to be perpendicular or normal to each other. So theta becomes 90. If area is parallel, theta becomes 90. If theta 90, cos 90 0, flux becomes 0. Then the third one, the magnetic field that you have taken is an non-uniform magnetic field. It is not an uniform magnetic field. What is that uniform and non-uniform? Next topic le solli kodukren. If the magnetic field is considered to be, or strength is considered to be same at all points, then it is called to be a uniform magnetic field. So if you are considering a uniform magnetic field, then only you can able to get this formula: phi B equal to B vector dot A vector. If the magnetic field is not uniform, then when I am considering the closed surface inside which it is not uniform, means we have to integrate that equation over the closed surface. So phi b is equal to closed integral of b vector dot dA vector. What is its SI unit? Here I have derived. B is given in terms of force per pole strength. Force per pole strength is Newton by ampere meter. Then dA measured in terms of meter square. On simplification, we can write this SI unit for magnetic flux as Newton meter per ampere. But at the same time, then SI unit for flux can also be written as what? Can also be written as Weber, represented as WB. What is the dimension for this flux? I have calculated the dimension, and the dimension is mLc to the power minus 2 into for area meter L, then per ampere a power minus 1. Combining, I can write mL square t power minus 2 a power minus 1. From this magnetic flux, we have to define magnetic flux density. Have it in mind. Flux per unit area. Flux area wala divide பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா flux per unit area. That we are calling it out as magnetic flux density. Otherwise called to be magnetic field or magnetic induction. இதெல்லாம் வரும் பின்னால 4th lessonல படிப்போம். அப்ப பாத்துக்கலாம். இப்போதைக்கு just what is magnetic flux density? Flux density is nothing but magnetic flux per unit area. That is total number of magnetic lines crossing normally through the unit area of magnetic field. Any area flux, unit area flux density, and it is represented by an unit called to be Tesla or represented by an unit called to be Weber per meter square. Hope you should have understood terms. We are going to study about one of the term called to be uniform magnetic field, and another term considered to be non-uniform magnetic field. ஒரு யூனிஃபார்ம் மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்ட் அப்படின்றத முதல்ல எப்படி ரெப்ரசன்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க? A uniform magnetic field is represented by drawing parallel lines. So if you are drawing parallel lines to represent the magnetic field, then that magnetic field represented B vector is said to be uniform. Non-uniform magnetic field, they are represented like this. They are not parallel. So how you can able to differentiate? See, in uniform magnetic field, at any point, if I am placing the pole strength, the force experienced by that pole strength will be same and acting in the same direction. Then that magnetic field is considered to be an uniform magnetic field. But at the same time, if I am placing the pole strength at a different points inside the magnetic field, and the force experienced on that pole strengths are considered to be different at different points, then we are saying that magnetic field as what? Then we are saying that magnetic field as non-uniform magnetic field. Clear? So let us define first of all. What do you mean by this uniform magnetic field? See, I can say like this. A magnetic field is said to be uniform. A magnetic field is said to be uniform when if it has the same magnitude, if it has same magnitude and same direction at all points in the given region. சரியா? magnetic field உடைய strength அப்படின்றதோ எப்படி இருக்கு? It is taken to be same at all points and they are in same direction. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா force experienced on a unit pole strength placed at different points is considered to be same. Then the magnetic field is considered to be uniform. Non-uniform அப்படின்னா என்ன? I can take like this. A magnetic field is said to be non-uniform. Is said to be non-uniform if it has different values, different magnitude or direction or both at different points. Then the magnetic field is considered to be a non-uniform magnetic field. Can we say some example for uniform magnetic field and non-uniform magnetic field? say I can state, for example, the magnetic field produced by Earth, magnetic field produced by Earth's magnetic field or produced by Earth. So the magnetic field produced by Earth is considered to be the uniform magnetic field. Is an example for uniform magnetic field. Similarly, for non-uniform magnetic field, what is the example that I can represent? Magnetic field produced by magnetic field produced by a magnetic field produced by a Bohr magnet, by a Bohr magnet or by a man-made magnet is considered to be an what? Considered to be an example for non-uniform magnetic field.